Hey folks, it's Maxwell here and welcome to a brand new TW9 video with AEW. First of all, hope everyone had a good Mania week. Was alright. Probably give it a bit of 7 out of 10. Felt night 1. First half of the show was pretty poor. Very good main event. Second night went very, very well and then slowly but surely ended very poorly. But match of the weekend for me out of those two shows, definitely the women's triple threat. Absolute outstanding stuff between Bianca, Io and Rhea Ripley. Still got a few shows to watch. I think I've caught up with Dynamite over that week. As I'm recording this, I'm just about to watch the 23rd of April edition of Dynamite, so hopefully I can caught up with that. But still got a few shows off my Trial TV subscription. Can't wait to see the clusterfuck, just to see Brody appear in that. And a few other shows I'm quite looking forward to seeing. Caught glimpses of Megan Bain versus Bazilla, which looked really, really good from Spring Break, but still like Bloodsport and that to catch up with, so plenty to look forward to. It took a little while to book this show. I had it all planned out, just never really got the time around to doing it. But here we are. A go home week, of course, for All Out, so hopefully we can deliver. The card's been put together. I've managed to get people that weren't on the card on the card. You'll see what kind of stipulation that brings as it gets announced by Scott D'Amore and Jesse Mackay. But as always, thank you very much for watching. It's time for Dynamite, and then of course we'll get through the rest of the shows this week in AEW. So it's the Henkel Fieldhouse for this episode of Dynamite, and we start off with some action between the Death Riders and the Lucha Bros in this matchup at Rey Fenix and Claudio Castagnoli. And we'd about had some great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd as Rey Fenix defeated Claudio with the Meteora within 15 minutes and 7 seconds. Probably could have main evented this, a very, very good matchup. It was designated to steal the show, and truthfully, an 82 probably is a success and probably caps out at what you can get in a 15-minute match with their product. But 88 performance from Phoenix and a 72 from Claudio. Phoenix picks up the win over Claudio, some big momentum going into All Out for the Lucha Bros, but as he celebrates, into the ring comes Jon Moxley, and it's a beatdown by him, and then he's joined by Claudio. We then hear Cierro Miedo, here comes Penta, and he's swinging a chair, La Parka style, and he chases the Death Riders out and causes them to retreat, as this Sunday him and his brother will go to war in a tag team match with the Death Riders. So 76 for that one, looking forward to that matchup. We then want to create a mega show this weekend, says Jesse Mackay and Scott D'Amore. So we're adding 2 matches to get more of our stacked roster involved, with big implications in both matches. With the women's division, we will have a 6-woman ladder match. The winner will face the AEW Women's World Champion at the Dynamite Anniversary Special. 4 of these women will compete in a tag team match next. The rest, well, wait and see who they are. It's a surprise. But we can confirm that you will see Becky Quinn, Mariah May, Chris Statlander and Athena as 4 of the 6, and who will be competing in the upcoming tag team match. As for the men's side, it's going to be a 6-man scramble match. The winner challenges for the World Championship of the men at the special Dynamite Anniversary, and confirmed for this matchup so far are Eddie Kingston and the Bastard Pack. We also wish to give a special singles match at the event to Darby Allin. However, his opponent will be a mystery until the night of the show. So there's 3 extra matches added, 2 6-person matches, and Darby Allin versus ? 54 for the segment. And this tag match was decent. Mariah May and Chris Statlander pick up the win over Becky Quinn and Athena, when Mariah May pinned Becky Quinn with the reverse bulldog after 11 minutes and 41. Storytell matchup, the weakest on the card, shows the strength of the card. Sadly, Becky and Athena didn't work well, so their timing was all over the place and they take a big hit in terms of in-ring performance. But a 65 is still pretty decent considering that. So looking forward to that matchup. We then hear from Paul Heyman talking on behalf of Ricochet and Ua. This Sunday we will see a highly anticipated rematch for the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Aussie Open, you are both truly talented athletes, but for far too long people have slept on my clients. One of it this world, and he is Ricochet. The other has speed, power, athleticism, everything you want in a true pro wrestler, and that is Ua. These gentlemen will showcase their skills this Sunday, and who knows, I hear people talking about their clients and their impact in AEW. Maybe one day I should look at an expansion, which is ironic because this was typed out before the Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins joining Paul Heyman. It took me a wee while before I got this put together, but I basically want to utilise a few managers. Storyline advances with the segment. The Kyle Fletcher storyline idea was deployed was a success. Mark Davis received the morale boost because of it. Ua just performed poorly, but overall segment was a 66. Next up, we have Renee Paquette asking Swerve the questions. Swerve, this weekend you will challenge Samoa Joe for the AEW TNT Championship. What are your thoughts going into this match? Swerve says, oh Renee, this Sunday isn't going to be a match with Joe, it's going to be a war. But look what I've done here in AEW. I've went to war several times and this will be no different. I've won championship after championship here in AEW and the TNT Championship is next. We saw some wars for this title before, but this will be next level. Now sure, Joe, you're a bad man and one false move and you can choke me out, but you've got to catch me first. I took down Keith Lee and I think I know how I can take your ass down too. So the storyline advances and gains heat. The storyline idea was deployed and was a success. And a 70 segment for Swerve's promo on Joe. I'm looking forward to this one this Sunday. Next up, we had a decent matchup that saw Zack Sabre Jr. defeat Scorpio Sky in 10:08 with the Zack Driver. Okay, Sabre Jr. was off his game. 67 for him. His storyline with Daniel Garcia advances, but the segment only gathered a 64. Garcia was in commentary again for the Zack Sabre Jr. match. After the matchup, they get in the ring and they square up to each other. This feud will carry on, and they will have a matchup this Sunday all out. So just basically stare down. These two will grapple this Sunday. 65 segment, storyline advances, and gains heat. That's promising. We're going to lot of stuff saying gaining heat. We then hear from Timeless Tony Storm. Last Saturday on Collision, I had my first ring encounter with Megan Bayne, and let me tell you all, she is one strong woman. Now, she did get the pinfall victory over me, but I see it as a learning curve. I will now go and study the tape and make sure this Sunday the true champion of TBS remains Timeless Tony Storm. So a 71 segment there for Tony's promo on Megan. The storyline advances and gains heat. So good stuff. Just making sure we don't see any segments that have or end of shows and it says not enough stories over. We then hear from Kevin Steen. It's promo heavy this week. Finally, last weekend, Sami Zayn accepted my challenge for a matchup this Sunday All Out. You see, people know me and Sami go way back, and honestly, I feel terrible. Terrible when I can't get the better of him and make his life a living hell. I need to have a moment here in AEW, and I can't think of a better moment than punching your stupid face, Sami. So this Sunday, get ready to get punched in the face a lot by Kevin Steen. That just sounds like a Kevin Steen promo at times. So a 75 segment, their storyline advances and gains heat. It probably will be a one and done between these two, but you've got to have it in every company that they're in. Next up, in a Wild Brawl, which actually surprised me how good it went. We got some good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Jay White defeats Austin Creed in 11:41 with the Blade Runner. So a 75 wrestling and an 80 segment overall. 63 for Austin Creed. Jay White went 87. That's probably one of his best performances so far in AEW. I think is that our main event? No, Kenny's the main event. But we do hear from Switchblade. And he says, it's good to know that Mr. Tony can remember just who the hell I am. And I've been told he's decided to put me in this Sunday in this matchup with championship implications. So yes, I can confirm you will see me in the Scramble match this Sunday All Out. And I will win. And I will become AEW World Champion finally as AEW learns to breathe with the Switchblade. So 81 segment, Jay White is in that six-man scramble alongside at the moment with Pac and Eddie Kingston. I do know who the 6 competitors are, but I got to keep it a little bit a secret, don't I? Main event time, absolutely sensational. Thought these two would deliver, and they certainly have. But they had superb wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Kenny Omega defeats Rush in 21:05 with the One-Winged Angel. 90 for Kenny, 83 for Rush. 87 wrestling and an 88 segment for your main event. So not too much pressure on our highest promo with the best match scoring very high. Because Kenny decides to give us an 88, which is ideal. And he says, now that was an incredible matchup against an incredibly difficult opponent. So Rush, First time made an arse. Rush, thank you for that. This Sunday, I will defend my Continental Championship against Takeshita, and I expect a war. Just please, Don, don't screw us over. Stick to your word, and let us both go to war like warriors. So 88 segment, storyline advances and gains heat. Storyline idea was implemented and was a success. Kenny's getting steel though. But yeah, looking forward to that one. Kenny Takeshita this coming Sunday. And we finished the show with our stare down for the World Championship. We start off actually with Okada coming out, and Okada says, "This Sunday I will defend my AEW World Championship against that bitch, Will Ospreay. Will Ospreay is not on my level, he never has been and never will be. Ospreay, you may believe you are the ace of AEW, but I can assure you, you are not." Ospreay comes out, "Okada-san, I have nothing but utmost respect for you, but this disrespect, I just can't stand for it, mate. You're the champion here, mate. You have this company on your back. You can't slander it. You've got to represent it with pride and honour, which is when I beat you this Sunday, I will install that. I will carry this company on my back to the next level, bruv. This Sunday, we go to the elite level." So looking forward to that one. Ospreay Okada, and that'll be our main event this Sunday. Storyline advances, gains heat. 85 for this segment. I'm happy with that. 85 overall show. We increase our popularity in 47 regions, so that'll help us within the US. Fans were slightly disappointed again. Not too many matches with storyline implications. To be fair, I don't have a Death Riders against Lucha Bros one. I probably should, but I think that is a short-term program as well. Everything else was, well, the matches were more so hinting at matches that are going to take place, like Jay White versus Austin Creed. You'll have an idea why that's happening on Sunday. And obviously the women's matchup, it is just for a 6-person king out. A lot of the storylines would advance through angles, so I'm fine with that. Locker room incidents, Sami Zayn and Jay Lethal had to be separated after a heated argument before Rampage. That's fine. So, what's happening on Collision then? Let's find out. So now moving on to Collision, and we're at the Liakura Centre, I think. And we start off with a decent matchup. Kevin Steen and Colt Cabana in action, and Steen picks up the win over Cabana in 10:06 with a package pile driver. I made this the Steal the Show matchup. A 62 for the wrestling and a 68 segment, and a 79 performance from Kevin Steen, so helping him gain a little bit of momentum ahead of tomorrow night. Some of the stars that are in action tomorrow night are in action, but not too many. We're trying to wrap up as many as we can in Cotton Wool for All Out. So Kevin Steen has a few words, and he says, "Sammy, I hope you took a note of this matchup and the beating that the old Colt has taken. Remember Cabana, an old peer who we've been up and down the country with, hell, around the globe with. But that's the thing, Sammy, being nice doesn't get you far in life. I can't be nice. I have to be me. I have to do what's best for me and my family, and that's by kicking everyone who steps in front of me's asses. We are good friends, we're good rivals, but you're a step in the way from me from getting closer to a championship and more money for my family." So 82 for the segment, solid promo from Kevin Steen. Their storyline advances and gains heat. It just gives us a wee kind of extra oomph for their matchup tomorrow night. Kevin Steen, Sami Zayn, All Out tomorrow. We then had some trios action in the women's division. It was about that had some decent wrestling, but not a lot of heat. The Money Corporation, Bayley, Sky Blue, and Nixon Null defeated Ryo Mizunami, Queen Aminata, and Danny Luna in 8:20, with Bayley picking up the win over Ryo with the Rose Plant. She was head and shoulders above the rest with in-ring performance with a 72, but I feel that matches like this are only going to aid the development of the likes of Sky Blue, Nixon Null, and Aminata as well. 56 wrestling and a 65 overall. As they head backstage, we have some words from Mercedes Moné, and she says, "Collision, you can say hello and goodbye to your CEO. My work here is done tonight. The Moné Corporation's work is done. A fantastic victory for Bayley, for Nixon and Sky Blue. It's time for us to go and put the preparation in and final touches in for tomorrow's match. As for Ryo, well, good luck surviving tonight against Emi Sakura. Let's hope you even make it to All Out." So the Money Corporation are leaving the building, so that's Mercedes, Bayley, Nixon Null and Sky Blue. And of course, confirming later on tonight, we have Emi Sakura versus Io Shirai. So a 55 for the segment, storyline advances, losing heat. And this was with a storyline idea that was deployed and a success as well. A few good performances. Obviously going to lose some points here for Nixon and Sky Blue as we try and get them over with association with Mercedes and Bayley. We then have a promo from Jeff Jarrett, and he's going to be facing Swerve Strickland in action next. Tomorrow night, Swerve, you have a very difficult matchup against Samoa Joe, so I'm surprised that you decided to go one-on-one with the last outlaw, Jeff Jarrett. I think tonight I'm going to make a statement. I'm going to beat you, Swerve, and I'm going to take your shot at the TNT Championship and Samoa Joe tomorrow night. It might be your house, Swerve, but you're living in my world. So 66 for Jeff's promo. TNT's totally advances. Callum's got a face turn, but aye. It's not as if I'm doing much with Jeff Jarrett. So obviously, decent matchup. Swerve picks up the win over Jeff Jarrett in 6:49 with the Swerve Stomp. Match was designed to tell a story that, Jeff Jarrett's just not at Swerve's level anymore. But 63 for the wrestling, 69 segment, get a few negatives there for Karen Jarrett and the heel face divide. It's because at the start of the mod, Jeff is a face, Karen is a heel, and yeah, she's not been enough segments to turn her basically. Then a little backstage segment with Aussie Open. Mark Davis says, Kyle, are you sure this matchup tonight with Roddy Strong is a good idea? We are less than 24 hours from defending your tag team titles. Kyle Fletcher says, listen, Davis, I know it's a risk, but I'm at that stage that I need to take risks. Us as a team are incredible, unstoppable, and tomorrow night that continues, but I do need to bet on myself. So a 74 for that little discussion between Aussie Open, their storyline advances, and gains heat. Next up, we had some tag team action, as in about had some decent wrestling and didn't have much heat. Private Party defeated the Acclaimed in 11:29 when Mark Quinn pinned Max Caster with the Gin and Juice. Caster being the weak link here with a very poor 53. 66 for the wrestling and a 70 overall. A lack of psychology probably hampered that from being a little bit higher. But yeah, good performance there from Private Party. And from Bones is getting a little bit stale, but overall, some okay stuff in our tag division. However, Max Caster then backstage says, God damn it, Anthony, here we go again. Hangman's away, and boom, back to losing. How incredible stuff. Which leads Bones to saying, Max, are you trying to blame me? You got pinned. Honestly, calm down and sort your shit out. So a bit of tensions between the Acclaimed here, and that is a 60 rated segment. We then had a bout that had some decent wrestling but didn't have much heat. Megan Bain defeats Yuka Sakazaki in 10:56 by pinfall. 69 for the wrestling, a 71 segment overall, building up Megan Bain ahead of tomorrow's TBS Championship match with Timeless Toni Storm. We then have a quick promo from the Hangman, and he says, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. For many a year, MJF has pissed me off. Tomorrow, there won't be anything left of him to piss people off with. So he's absolutely raging. These two will come to a head tomorrow night. 75 segment, and their storyline gains heat. We then had that wild brawl that was mentioned earlier on. Good wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Io Shirai defeats Emi Sakura in 9:01 with a German suplex hold. So this one was always going to be capped because of the time, but the storyline between Io and Mercedes advances. The wrestling was a 74 and the segment a 70. But yeah, good momentum for Io Shirai ahead of what should be a very, very good matchup. We then head backstage where we see MJF, who's bumped into Christian Cage, and he goes, whoa, 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 easy bud. I just want to make one thing perfectly clear. I don't know what the hell Cope's issue is with me, but me and my guys and Regal, none of us had anything to do with Chris Jericho. So hey, good luck with Starks and Wardlow tomorrow, but between me and you, I think you're barking up the wrong tree, man. So a 79 rated segment there. The performance of MJF's good, but it's just obviously confirming Cope and Christian Cage versus Ricky Starks and Wardlow, and of course MJF versus Hangman Adam Page, both at All Out. And the main event, which was always going to deliver, was about that had some great wrestling and a decent reaction from the crowd. Kyle Fletcher defeats Roderick Strong in 22:42 with a Grimstone. 87 for Fletcher, 73 for Roddy. I just want to keep putting in these big matches so Fletcher can, one, develop, and two, I feel like he's someone that could have a good match tonight, make sure we gain pop, and have a good match tomorrow without risking any of our main eventers. So 80 for the wrestling and an 85 segment overall. Pretty good stuff. And I finished the show with some words from Bryan Danielson ahead of his matchup with Walter for the International Championship tomorrow. Tomorrow night I go to war. I go to war with Walter. Now you guys know that I do wish to end my full-time career very, very soon, so it is absolutely pivotal that I win this war. I take AEW and the International Championship around the globe, visiting all these great countries and showing the world that even out with AEW, we have some phenomenal talents within our business. I will put it all on the line tomorrow, but I have one doubt. If I do fail, what's next? And that I'm unsure of. Maybe it's time to wind it down. So the storyline advances between Walter and Bryan, gains heat. The segment was a fantastic 88, so we're really knocking it out of the park with our main eventers and promos now. And we finished the show with an 83. Increased our popularity in 2 regions. I'm quite happy with that. The only negatives there obviously are all our restricted growth, which is cool. And obviously we don't broadcast in as many areas for Collision as we do with Dynamite. And again, storylines, just because more matches took place in angles, as you can see there. Pretty solid stuff. Workroom incidents before. Pat Buck and Zack Sabre Jr. are now travel buddies. So we'll hop over, we'll go to the main screen, we'll round up what happened on Shockwave, what happened on Rampage, and we'll try and run down as much of the card for All Out I can remember off the top of my head. So time for the final round-up before All Out. I'll have a look at what happened in the last couple of shows, and I'll run down to, well, effectively in game tonight's card. So Collision was awesome, that's good to see. Well, we've already just witnessed that, so that's good. Let's actually take a look here. Is anything directly affects us? Not that I can see. Gabe Kidd's out arguing, that doesn't surprise me. No, I've offered a contract to Junta Mayawaka. Don't think there's anything else that directly affects us too much. Hichisero's gone from his loan spell. He had a matchup on Shockwave with Lee Moriarty, which we finished that loan deal. All Japan have offered a touring contract to Mystico. You can see there our viewerships for Collision and Shockwave. How long has Collision still got on TNT? 2027? Maybe soon we might actually add EW Network to Collision as well, if that's going to be 2027. But we don't really need money because the money's coming in like nothing else. So we'll run over what went down on the 2B shows, and we'll quickly go through the card ahead of the next video. So Rampage, we had some words from Anna Jay. That was a 65. She teamed alongside Masha Slamovich to defeat Billy Starks and Thunder Rosa, which was a 60. I felt in that instance it would have been perfect for Anna Jay and Billy Starks' development. Nick Wayne defeated John Silver in a 65, and we had some words from Nick, which was a 57. Priscilla Kelly, our in-ring debut, defeated Arisa Nakajima, which was a 58. And then we had just a little bit together between Priscilla and Saraya, which was a 58 as well. Obviously their alliance. And Kofi defeated Mike Bennett in our main event, which was a 61. On Shockwave, Eddie Kingston opened the show with a great promo about the upcoming 6-man scramble match. He got an 88. Eddie Kingston then defeated Juice Robinson. It was a 63. Some words from Cole, O'Reilly and Strong, Undisputed Kingdom, ahead of their triple threat trios match against the House of Black and the Young Bucks and Mark Briscoe. Probably could have touched on that storyline a bit more, but time limitations saw that fall to a 62. I think I've started getting better with shows, but I need to structure them and get a lot more covered in shows. I admit I need to do better there. Jamie Hayter defeated Camille in a 70 before she described her upcoming chances in the 6-woman ladder match, which was a 71. We had AJ Styles, Nick Wayne and Commander defeat Brian Keith and the Righteous, which was a 71. Billy Starks defeated Gazelle Shaw in a 47. We had just a little intro video, or kind of hype video for Hichisero, which was a 63. Him and Lee Moriarty tangled in a very good technical matchup, which was a 57. Just sadly they didn't click, so that hampered the rating, but I feel like both are pretty good and that doesn't reflect their ability. So yeah, that was the week that was in AEW. You can see there, All Out 2025 is tonight, and we will confirm this will be your card for the next video. The AEW World Heavyweight Championship, Kazuchika Okada defends against Will Ospreay. The AEW Women's World Championship, Mercedes Moné defends against Io Shirai. It's going to be Toni Storm defending the TBS Championship against Megan Bayne. And the TNT Championship on the line is Samoa Joe faces Swerve Strickland. We've got MJF versus Hangman, Starks and Wardlow versus I put E and C, so that was going to throw me off there. But Christian Cage and Cope. The Tag Team Championships on the line as Ua and Ricochet challenge Aussie Open for them. The big grudge match happens as Sami Zayn takes on Kevin Steen. Then the big championships on the line, the Continental Championship, Kenny Omega defends against Konosuke Takeshita. And the International Championship on the line as Bryan Danielson challenges Walter. The AEW Trios Championship on the line as the House of Black defend against the Undisputed Kingdom, which of course is Cole O'Reilly and Roddy Strong, and of course the Bucks and Mark Briscoe. Tag team action as Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli, the Death Riders, take on the Lucha Brothers, Rey Fenix and Penta El Zero Miedo. We have Darby Allin taking on a wild card. We have a technical grudge match between Daniel Garcia and Zack Sabre Jr. This pay-per-view is going to go on for about 20 years, like every other AEW event. And our 2 6-person matches, the AEW Women's Ladder match for a number 1 contendership of the Women's Championship at the Special Dynamite in 2 weeks' time. Becky Quinn, Mariah May, Kris Statlander, Bayley, Jamie Hayter and Athena will take part in that. And in the men's scramble match, it's going to be Jay White. I was keeping some a secret, I just gave away some of the people in that, but Jay White, Eddie Kingston, Pac, and 3 others in the men. There you go, you got a little spoiler there with the women's one. To be honest, in both those 6-person matches, I don't know who's winning. Actually, a lot of them I don't know who's winning. I like to book them on the fly and go for there, but I've got like 2 things set in stone: Darby's opponent and 1 angle. Sorry, 2 angles that are taking part in the show. Pretty similar, but you'll see as time goes on, excited to build some feuds going forward. So as always, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Wee thumbs up would deeply appreciated. Hopefully you'll join us for All Out. And remember to check out the Fantasy Booker subreddit, Grey Dog Software Forum, twdb.com and bethebooker.net. And yeah, I'm going to go and watch some more wrestling now because I'm still a mile behind with wrestling. And believe it or not, this is a video pretty much up to date. So yeah, no, I usually book in advance. Well, this one is literally live on the day it's been booked. So times have changed. But take it easy, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. And hopefully I'll see you for All Out. Bye bye.